Hi, we're going to talk about how to do math in Python. So going back to the word computer, that means someone or something that computes, which means computer should be really good at doing math. So let's start with the simplest arithmetic expressions that we've learned when we were a kid, that 1 plus 1. And let's actually assign this result to a variable, and we can see, hopefully, that it does what we expect it to do, which is to give us a result of 2. And indeed, it does that. Now, let's look at in a bit more detail exactly what happened in these 2 lines of code. Well, specifically, the first line. So, when Python, the interpreter, sees an expression like x equal to something, in this case 1 plus 1, what the Python interpreter does first is that it sees this as an arithmetic expression, and it will compute or evaluate that expression. So 1 plus 1, it evaluates it to 2. And then the second thing it does is that with this 2, it sees there is an assignment operator, so it would assign the value or the number 2 to the variable x. So when we print out x, as we already know, x is replaced by the value that is associated with the variable, and that's why we see 2. And as you might expect, computer can do a lot more than just adding 2 positive numbers together. So here I listed a number of common and built-in operators or operations that Python supports. We'll start with negative numbers. So if you put a hyphen in front of a number, then it becomes a negative number. So this is -1. It can do subtraction, and we're using, again, the hyphen as the subtraction operator. It can do multiplication using the asterisk. And here is one that is a little more interesting. It uses the percent sign, and what this operator is actually the modulo operator. And what the modulo operator is that it does a division. So here it actually does a 20 divided by 3, and it returns the remainder. So 20 divided by 3, the remainder should be 2. Okay? And the modulo operator, you might be using that a lot in your programming career. And the next one is with a double asterisk. It is used to raise to a certain power. So in this case, it is raising 4 to the 3rd power, or computing 4 cube. Okay. And finally, here is a division operator with 2 slashes. And so this is computing 100 divided by 5. Now, it's what's called a floor division, so it's not quite the normal division, and I will have more to say about that very soon. So what I'd like you to do at this point is pause the video and then manually, or with a calculator if you must, to calculate the result of all of these expressions. And then you should type these statements into your IDE and print out the x after each statement, so that you know what they are evaluated to, and then check all the results against the results that you derived by hand, and make sure that they agree with each other. Okay, hopefully you have done that, and hopefully your results agree with what Python tells you. Now, if they don't, you should figure out why, and if you don't understand why, please do seek help. So moving on. Now, one thing I want to point out is that in order to see the result of some arithmetic expressions, we can either assign the results to a variable and print out that variable, or we can just put the expression directly inside a print statement. So both of these should do exactly the same thing, and it should give me exactly the same result, right? Yeah, both of them give us 600. Now, there is a preferred way to do this, and that is the first way. The reason for that is remember, we probably should not do any useful computation, or as a matter of fact, any kind of useful work inside a print statement. Now, the print is typically for us human beings, an insight into what the computer is doing, right? Because it puts something on the screen. However, that is not the only way that we interact or we see the result of what a computer does. As a matter of fact, most of the time when you look at a computer, what you see on the screen is not a result of a print. Think about this video that you're watching, right? We're obviously watching a video. We're not looking at some text. Or if you think about your phone, what you see on the phone screen, it's a very rich kind of a graphical representation of what your phone is doing, rather than just some boring old text, right? So that's why to see the result, print is not the only way, and therefore you really should not do any actual work in a print statement. And that is why we should do useful work like computing the result of an arithmetic expression, store it in a variable, and then if we have to see what that result is, then we can use print to print out the variable. Okay, moving on. So in arithmetic expression, it doesn't have to just involve a single operator with two operands. It can obviously be more complex. So, for example, we can have expressions with two operators and with parentheses, and probably more, even more operators. So, the next thing I would like you to do is, in fact, again, compute these by hand, have the results ready, and then try get Python to compute and print out the results of all of these expressions. And again, verify what Python prints out or gives you agreed with what you have derived by hand. So please pause the video and do that. All right, hopefully you've done that. Couple things I want to point out about these more complex arithmetic expressions is that first, just as in math, Python evaluates these expressions from left to right. So with the 1 plus 1 minus 1, it will do the 1 plus 1 first, because that's on the left. And then the result is 2, and then it will evaluate minus 1, right? Because minus 1 is to the right. So it goes from left to right. And then the second thing is all the operators, just like in math, have precedence. So for example, multiplication, the asterisk, has a higher precedence than subtraction. So this would evaluate 2 times 3 first, which gives us a 6, and then it will evaluate the subtraction. So 20 minus 6 gives us 14. And then the third thing is, okay, if the precedence is something that we don't want, for example, what we actually want to do is if we want to do the subtraction first. In that case, we can override the precedence by using parentheses. So putting 20 minus 2 in parentheses will force Python to evaluate that first. So 20 minus 2 is 18, and 18 multiplied by 3 would give us 54. Now, the rule of precedence or operator precedence can get a little complex. When you are unsure about precedence, then you can always use parentheses to force a certain operation to be evaluated first. And here is a very simplified table listing the precedence, the operator precedence, and the one at the top is the highest precedence. So that means if we see the negative sign, the hyphen, it has the highest precedence. Okay, so but this minus sign, it means the negative sign, okay, not the subtraction operator. And then below that, the next highest operator with operator precedence would be the raised to the power, so double asterisk. And then below that would be the multiplication, division, and the modulo operator. And then below that, it would be the addition and the subtraction in this case, hyphen. It means the subtraction. So this is similar to what we are used to in math. So hopefully you can remember this well, but if you don't, again, use parentheses to force certain expression to be evaluated first. And if you want to get a more complete picture of operator precedence, and here is a link directly to the Python 3 reference website, and you can get a lot more detail about operator precedence. And to give you a bit of exercise regarding the hyphen, which takes on double rows, it can be a negative sign and also can mean the subtraction operator. Here are a couple expressions, and so take a look at them, see if they are valid expressions or statements, and if they are, then what should they be evaluated to. So pause the video, think about it. And hopefully here is the results that you come to, and that is the first one is 1 plus negative 2. And the reason is 1 plus negative 2 is that, remember, a hyphen in front of a number, it has the highest precedence. So and what it does is that it's negative sign, so it negates that number. So this becomes negative 2. And this expression is 1 plus negative 2, which should evaluate to negative 1 if you type it in Python. And then the next one, even though it looks a little odd with 2 hyphens, the 2 hyphens actually means 2 different things. And again, the first hyphen, because it's right in front of a number, it means it's a negative sign. So this is negative 3, and this hyphen is between 2 numbers. Then it's a subtraction operation. So this is 3 minus negative 3, which should give us a 6.